Okay. That's what this episode is called. I don't entirely remember what happens in it, but that's why we look back and rewatch them. But we gotta get Lydia feeling a little bit better, maybe to okay. Maybe that's what this episode's about, because we're very worried about her and our hearts are breaking for her. And if you want to have your heart broken, check out the Patreon. No, that was a non sequitur, but I have to plug it somehow. My name is Ashley Clements.
I'm Mary Kate Wiles, and I'm here to break and repair your heart.
On the Breakdown
The Heartbreak Diaries.
Yeah, they were written at the Heartbreak Hotel.
Yeah.
Just journaling away. I'm sad. Why didn't he love me, Lucy?
No.
Oh
no.
We're making light so that we can not cry, but yeah, this was heavy stuff, and I think it's really well written. There's a reason also that Rachel wrote these 4 in a row, which wasn't something that we normally did.
Yeah,
and it's true. because she had sort of masterminded the whole Lydia spin-off. The writers just all felt like she was kind of steering the ship on this story. She understood she had set this up in some ways from the very beginning. And then she had done Our Fight that led to a lot of the problems that happened, because if we had communicated, I mean, here's the thing. This is tough, but most interpersonal problems are created by a lack of communication.
It's true. But
I'm sorry, you have to tell people how you feel.
Necessary for good television. A compelling narrative.
Yes. It's a point that I make sometimes, really, which started with this show, because, again, we were reading these criticisms all along the way, and Lizzie was being criticized right off the bat. And without knowing exactly what was going to happen over the course of the year we made the show, I was like, yeah, at the beginning of any plot, the protagonist doesn't know everything that they're going to know by the end. And that is how they have an arc. Yeah. Like, story structure
That's
101.
how story works. Also,
is Pride and Prejudice. It's kind of in the title.
Yeah.
You're going to have to stop being so much of those things. The title isn't like Sunshine and Kittens.
Everything's fine. Everybody knows it, and it's fine.
Let's see if she's okay.
Let's check in with her. Let's see how she's doing.
I clearly wanted to maintain the Lizzie's not doing well enough to do her hair well.
I like the braid.
No, it's just a little. It's like it's just a little bit messy. It was sort of intentionally messy, so that I was.
She's going through it.
We're breaking stuff. And I also think that the nature of our show meant that, like, the life of the website felt like it was dragged out a little longer than, it was 2 weeks between finding out about it and finding out in this one, I think, that it was taken down. Mm-hmm. And that's a long time for an audience. And have y'all got Lydia into therapy? Because that
would be helpful.
Really good idea.
I think she says something about it at some point.
Yeah, we might use the word counseling or something.
Yeah, I think so.
But like a support group might be really great for her.
Yeah.
And maybe that's some of what the show is for people, is seeing another story and feeling less alone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But again, you didn't say like therapy, so I don't know that you've tried everything.
Yeah. Hello, it's me.
With a little more color.
Yeah. It's intentional.
I know. You did all of that very intentionally.
I had that sweater for the longest time.
I know. There are so many things from my Lizzie Bennett wardrobe that I hung on to for so long. There's a couple things that I still
Hmm.
have.
I still have Lydia's pink weird leopard print tank.
Yeah, that's iconic. You got to keep that.
It's iconic.
But also, like,
I will never wear
that's
it again.
useful for auditions.
I guess so.
You would like
I haven't pulled it
instantly
out.
create a character.
That's true.
Well,
I
if
should
you,
pull it back
I know
out.
it's like we're sort of, we age into different types, but if you were gonna
Yeah.
audition for a party girl,
Not a bad idea.
hmm and this is, it's nice to see her doing better.
Yeah.
Like she's smiling a little bit. Like she clearly has been doing a little better and a little makeup, and that is true.
It is true.
As I continue to film everything.
And put it online.
Well, I think it's fair in world for Lizzie to apologize in a way that everyone can see, because everyone saw the terrible things that she said.
Yeah.
And that's also so great. I didn't really see you, and I didn't really let you. Like, that's... Yeah, I'm a nerd. We should all wear the title of nerd proudly.
I agree.
And that was a cute moment.
Yeah.
Our little faces to each other. And again, I've said this, but like, we were very close at this point, and that really served us as actors. That, like, we had...
I was just thinking about how much we had done. We'd already been to cons, and
yeah, we had traveled together, we'd shared rooms, and been to... Yeah, and also, like, as we've discussed, this whole experience was so crazy, and like, who understood it except those of us experiencing it? And
lived
so we were spending a lot of time together.
Yeah, we really were. We were sharing rooms when we were going to these cons, and we slept in the same bed.
Yeah,
many times.
MK and I were roommates, and Julia and Laura would be roommates. And whoops, I didn't pay attention to how that episode ended.
Oops.
I never do this, but I'm gonna go back just to be like, wait, how?
Oh, you're gonna hang out with me now.
Oh, because we're gonna hang out. Just because, like, this is significant. Okay.
Pretty sure that was a light. The Fault in Our Stars was big around the time.
Oh yeah, Rachel loved sneaking in her. Yes, of course.
She did.
Of course, that is
Ridiculously emo, which I just said was a reference.
There's more stuff hidden in, especially the Lydia spinoff.
Yeah.
Even on the Lizzie Bennett Diaries, I feel like you have all of the sneaky reference lines. I don't think I
say squares at one point. She liked to put in me naming all the other projects I had done.
I know. Margaret put in like some Star Trek references and some Shakespeare references. Yeah, I mean, it was a really rewarding experience that we got to do. Let's see what they thought.
Let's see what they thought about it.
Susie says, just in case you thought the sad was over, in the secret diary of Lizzie Bennett, it's revealed that Lydia really desperately hoped it was George that took it down because he still loved her, even though both Mary and her therapist told her it wasn't likely, hence why she started digging to find out why the website came down, and the trail led back to a certain newsie. Okay, so I'm glad that Kate clarified in the book that there was therapy happening.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we established that in the show. So part of the retcon was going, and we obviously got this person who clearly needs therapy, some therapy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But also Lydia hoping it was George, that is so in line with the character that you and Rachel created. Yeah.
That's what I was playing here. I mean, for the astute watcher, when I'm talking about somebody taking down, I'm hoping it's
Yes, and you like look to the camera and smile a little bit and like,
Yeah.
thanks for doing that. Lizzie from the book, it's gone, it's down, the website is down, and I don't know how or why, but whoever did that, I could kiss you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You will, Lizzie. You will. Yes, that was foreshadowing.
Yes.
The person who wrote that wrote the kissing episode.
Knew what was going to happen.
She knew, you knew, we all knew. Trina Alvarez says, what I like about the first part of this video is that Lizzie's descriptions tell us that the Bennett family is getting ready to find its own way to move on. In the book, everyone gives themselves over to despair and Darcy saves the day.
Oh.
I mean, they mean in Pride and Prejudice.
Right.
Here, they're learning to cope as a family even before the mysterious website killer swoops in. Yeah, that's a good point, right? That like we're sort of, because what can you do?
Yeah.
Well, and actually, I wasn't. Obviously, I was talking over the episode. Is that what Lizzie was saying? I don't know what else we can do because she was referring to the fact that we can't take down the website. Is that actually what she was referring to? It maybe it was. Because yeah, what do you do in a situation like that? Well, if you're Darcy, you buy a porn company.
Easy.
And Christine Stevenson noticing Lydia's wearing colors again.
Yes.
Kiani H says, can I just say I love the fact that they just straight up went, Kitty's not even a real character, we'll just make her an actual cat, no point casting a whole other human for the role, LOL. I mean, you can say that, but you probably should have said it like 80 episodes
also,
ago.
That wasn't exactly the reasoning, but sure.
Yeah, no, it was
wasn't, we don't want to cast a human. It was, there's just going to be 3 sisters.
Well, and also, like, Kitty doesn't really affect the plot. Like, she just kind of enables Lydia.
But neither does Mary.
Really. Yeah. I mean, you could make more of an argument for it, and that's why, like, Mary did become a character.
Yeah.
But Kitty is literally just sort of like Lydia 2.0.
Yeah. I love changing 5 sisters to 3. I think that is the root from which all of the interesting things about the show have grown and developed, and I think it was a smart choice.
Yeah, I agree.
Lydia is worse at asking out her sister than Darcy. I really don't.
Like, were you asking me out?
I don't think so.
I mean, just I think in terms of like
Trying to
expressing
get to hang.
that you want to hang out together.
Yeah.
Eth May pointing out, I think this is the first episode that Lizzie has remembered that Mary exists. Nice subtle reminder that things are turning around. And yeah, again, I think that's something that Rachel was acutely aware of because she had written so much of Mary. Oh, that's lovely. Alexandra Elhart says, what I love so much about this favor, Lydia asks, is that she's finally able to name her own needs, haltingly and with a lot of embarrassment for having them, but she can ask now. All her crazy manic little sister antics were calls for attention all that time, and Lizzie can see that now. Getting no genuine feedback from either of her parents, Lydia seems like she sort of flailed for years, hoping somebody would love her enough to just respond and not ignore or name call. Ooh. And now they have finally been stating how they actually feel and what they actually need. This is the beauty that can come out of suffering. It forces us to be honest with our own hearts. These two are just so gorgeous in that.
How astute. Glad she's doing better. She's getting there. She's learning.
That's what you get out of a well-crafted narrative arc, right? Because the fact of the matter is, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger is not true. Trauma can be extremely damaging and very difficult to heal from.
Yeah.
But this is fiction, and it can set a template of hope, of possibility, that you can move on from terrible things happening, especially, I mean, this is really one of the most important things for any kind of healing and recovery, especially if you have a really good support network around you. Mm-hmm. And Lydia hasn't, and one of the most important things established in this episode is that she does now. Mm-hmm. Because Lizzie recognizes that she wasn't really seeing Lydia and therefore wasn't seeing what she needed and what she asked for. And Lydia is, as that comment said, learning to ask for what she needs and not acting out for attention, but saying, I want to connect.
Yeah, I need help.
Oh God, asking for help is just one of the hardest things to do. And so it's very, very powerful. to see her do it. And it's a great example that this set. And honestly, major props to Rachel Kiley, because like we were all in our 20s at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel was 25
Mm-hmm.
and really understood.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
very well crafted in terms of what we see her go through and the recovery. And I think honestly, the only thing that gets kind of hard after this about all of this is that it's not ultimately Lydia's show.
Yeah.
And she doesn't go back to make her own vlogs. And so we have to make this like hard pivot after this into
Mm-hmm.
the plot that people expected, the Pride and Prejudice plot, because this is a major divergence from it.
Yeah.
It feels crazy to me that we're going to like pivot away from Lydia at this point and be like, let's talk about other stuff. And,
Bye.
oh, like Christopher Sean was also there on this same shoot day
Yeah.
to like
To Jane stuff.
do Jane stuff.
Was this Laura's last day?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Which is
So weird.
totally bonkers.
So weird.
Yeah, that feels like not the best service to that story, because if Lizzie's the protagonist, then it connects to the A plot line in that we made it part of Lizzie's journey and Lizzie's arc into being less prejudiced. And that's very cool that it's not just about Darcy, that it becomes about really a lot of her relationships, but in a really key way here about Lydia. But hard to say goodbye-ish to Lydia at this point, because we want to protect.
People we want to protect. People were desperate for her to put up another video on her own channel, but we got a no on that. We got a big old no on that, so we didn't.
I don't think I knew that there was a pitch.
I mean, I remember we talked about it. I think. I don't know. Maybe I made that up.
No, that would completely make sense. Of course.
I think that Rachel wanted there to be. We did get a book, so there was that. Thankful for the book.
If you want to know what happens to Lydia,
read or listen to The Epic Adventures of Lydia Bennet.
Thank you so much for joining
having
us
me.
For, I mean, you know, huge, major, important.
So
had to have you.
Happy to have been a part of it then and now. So thankful for it in all of the ways.
Go off and be well, as we assume Lydia is out in the world thriving.
She is. She's living her best life, I believe. And I will do that as well. Thank you so much.